Welcome to another Demarcation Media LEGO review. I have in front of me a full set of the Marvel Studios collectible minifigures. If you have not already seen, I did a unboxing video of a 6-pack of these guys. LEGO tried something new and offers these packs of just 6 figures in this little box. And you basically, if you get lucky, you can buy 2 of those and get the whole set right off the bat. But if you're very lucky. So I got one of those and got half the series, and then proceeded to go on a 7-hour hunt for the rest of them, which didn't even pan out fully. These things are a pain to track down. At least they were when I was out looking for them. So I wanted to do this review a little bit differently, because there's a bunch of reviews that are just straight up normal reviews of these guys. And that's all well and good, but I wanted to make this video focusing a little bit more on comparisons between the figures we have here and previous iterations of the characters, because a lot of the characters here have been made in LEGO form at least once, if not up to like 4 different times. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and just start looking at them one by one and comparing them. So we're going to go ahead and start with Bucky. This is Bucky from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, which that was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We have the shield. This is the same shield as we will see on Captain America later. This is the one from the show. I'm not really sure why they decided to give him the shield. Like, I know it was a big part of the show and all that, but an extra shield, just, I don't know. It feels a little like they ran out of accessory ideas, and so they're like, oh, give him a shield, because that'll make sense. So, like, I get their idea behind it, but at the same time, it feels a little lazy. This shield, though, is excellent. It's got silver print on there, lots of really nice fine detail. It is printed on gray. Very, very nice. So we're actually going to, hold on a second, give that to a Captain America that we will look at in a moment for our comparison. But for now, here's Bucky. He's got his knife. He's got his blue getup. Very nice Wakandan arm. He has a stand. All the figures here come with the stand and at least one of these clear pieces, if not 2. I don't really understand why some characters get 2 and some don't. It seems a little random, but you'll see this on pretty much every figure. But like I said, I want this to be about comparisons. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Civil War Bucky. Now, this was before Bucky actually had a face for him, so he had to use Star-Lord's face in the Civil War sets, and that was pretty lame because that, like, it's a dude with a beard, and that's about all of the comparison there is. You can see right there. I mean, that's a totally different face. Bucky never really has that cocky look that Star-Lord does. The angry side looked a little better, I guess, but it just didn't look like him. It was kind of disappointing. The rest of the figure was great, though. I really loved the way they did his arm. I think these 2 arms look really good, like side by side. You can see great before and after. Back print. There's even actually still some similarities there. So that was the Civil War one. But in between Civil War and the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, we had Infinity War. So this is the Bricktober Infinity War Bucky, who had a few issues. Well, mainly just the fact that he has a silver arm with this gold print that was kind of farther back than it should be. That's not what his arm looks like. Obviously, you can see right here we have the correct arm. And this was kind of like trying to be the correct arm, but I don't know if they had like concept art to work with or what. So that was weird. But you can see he's got the blue getup, very similar. This guy had some nice leg print that the current one does not have. But he did have a Bucky face specifically made for Bucky. Get out of here, Civil War Bucky with the Star-Lord face. And you can tell they look very different now, these two. But I think that works because Bucky had a very different, more unshaven, messy look in Infinity War than he did in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I think it's pretty cool. You have angry faces for both sides, and even the angry faces kind of show Bucky's change. The new one is very much more reserved. So I think so far this is our best version of Bucky that we've gotten, particularly with that arm. That arm looks fantastic. And while he is not the most detailed figure in this whole series, he is not one that you want to miss out on. So I'm just kind of going through these figures randomly, semi-randomly, not really according to their show or anything, just how I feel like looking at them. Another stand, like I said. So this is the What If Captain Carter. So this was what if Captain America was not Captain America and Peggy Carter became Captain America. But since she's British, she could not be Captain America. So she's Captain Britain or just Captain Carter because Captain Britain is another superhero. It's what if, okay? It's confusing. But we have the Tesseract, and this is a great way to do the Tesseract. I can't believe LEGO hasn't done this sooner. It's 2 1x1 tiles on this like glittery, cloudy plastic. Honestly, the way they're doing this like different plastic makes me think of Mega Constructs and the way that they're doing their plastics. You get 3 of these plates actually in one pack. So if you get 2 Captain Carters like I did, you can actually build 3 Tesseracts. So that's pretty cool. The figure herself actually is fantastic. I was not really looking forward to this figure too much other than the fact that she's got some really, really nice printed arms and legs that we'll get to that in a second. But the character design is really cool. We finally have a Peggy Carter face as well as her very iconic hair. That's a great piece. Like LEGO knocked it out of the park here. And then she's got the shield, but it is as if it were British, which looks very, very cool. It's on a dark blue piece. And honestly, Peggy made a great Captain America, so that makes it even better. You just saw she does have a angry face. See some print on the back, pretty much the same as Cap's. Overall, I was very surprised at how good this figure is. But she gets extra points because using some parts from her and that shield I mentioned earlier, you can make the ultimate Captain America minifigure. This is the Captain America minifigure we've been needing for years, and now it is finally possible. Dual molded legs, nice printing on the arms, a proper shield, not the all red thing, Mjolnir, Endgame Cap torso, and Endgame Cap head and mask. So not only is Peggy a really cool figure, she also allows us to make the best Captain America minifigure we have ever had in the history of LEGO Marvel sets. Next up is one of my favorite minifigures from this whole series, Captain America, but it is Sam Wilson. Oh, I did forget to mention, I just came off of having a sinus infection, so if my voice sounds a little weird, that would be why. Another stand. Wow, this guy has a lot going on. This guy was one of the first to leak, and I was really, really hyped for him, and that hype has really not died down at all now I've gotten him. He's got the same shield as we saw with Bucky. There's just so much. Dual molded arms, dual molded legs, side arm printing, side leg printing, new hair, new wings, and a little Red Wing drone on a corner tile. Although, unfortunately, mine did not get printed centered. It's kind of off to the side, so it's a little awkward. But look at the print on those wings. That's so cool. His face... Oh, I'm holding him out of camera. I just realized that. His face is fantastic. It is a little unfortunate that we don't have the option of other like expressions. Obviously, they couldn't print one on the back here because it would not be able to go anywhere. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll get another version of him at some point with a different face. That'd be nice. But even if we don't, this is fantastic. So I wanted to go ahead and bring in the first Falcon. They're kind of, their wings are kind of in the way. You know what? I have to zoom out. This is ridiculous. Their wings are huge. There we go. Okay, so original Falcon, you can see obviously there's a huge difference. He had a very much more military look, and these wings do not move at all. So this is the Civil War Falcon. There was originally a Red Wing drone back there, but it was huge and bulky and dumb, so I removed it. But the new wings now, we get articulation at the wingtips, so we can get more dynamic poses with him, whereas this guy would just have to fly with the straight wings. So that's fantastic. I really, really like that they did this to the wings. Obviously, I could nitpick and ask for joints down here at the edges too, so I could have big bends, but that would be asking for a little too much. As it is, Lego has gone beyond anything that I expected. I did not expect them to do a winged character in a minifigure series at all. And obviously we need to take the wings off to appreciate this print. The white here on the torso does not quite match the plastic white on the head and the arms. That's understandable. Lego seems to have an issue with that. They have a hard time getting the whites to line up like that. So slightly disappointing, but it really doesn't dampen the awesomeness of this figure at all. The print for the skin tone is actually done fantastically. But look at the print here. Just look at what they've done. They just went completely all out. Look at the tiny little star, soles of the shoes, all the little straps. It's so just they blew this figure away. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Does the character on screen perfect justice. Like I said, this is one of my favorite figures in the whole series, if not my number one. The only weird thing is the fact that Lego does not print on the sides of heads yet, so we just kind of get this strap that doesn't continue. At first, I was not a fan of this new hairpiece because it does look a little bit like bowlish, like a little tiny bowl slapped on the top of his head. But the way that the Captain America suit for Sam works is he's got the mask on the head, so it kind of works the way it's like wrapping here. It makes the mask look more convincing. But if you put it on the original Falcon, I said, oh, okay, thank you. If you put on the original Falcon, he looks a little odd. Just a little. And obviously you get that. So not ideal. But for the Captain America outfit, it works perfectly. And I can't say it enough. This figure is amazing. So going straight from one of my favorite figures in the whole series to one of my least favorite figures in the whole series, and that is Scarlet Witch. I'm just not a big fan of Scarlet Witch in general, so this figure holds very little appeal to me, other than the fact that Lego did do it pretty well for the most part. The weird things are the headdress does not get like any wraparound print or anything, so it looks a bit like she has some hair being smashed up in weird ways, or her headdress is made out of hair, which is kind of a disturbing thought, so we're not really going to dwell on that. But it is a new hairpiece, and Lego did it fairly well. Like, it's done pretty well for the most part, so I'll let it slide. She has a soft cape that is a single hole. That's to let it squish down better underneath the hair. The arms are dual molded, which is very nice. I'm sure people will find better uses for those. Well, not better uses, other uses, I should say. The skin tone on the torso is actually done pretty well. It's a little pale, but not as bad as I expected. She has red power bursts, which kind of fix the error that the Endgame Final Battle set had, where Scarlet Witch had a full set of the power burst pieces that were pink. Although I do really love those pieces. They look epic. But this is more screen accurate, and you can take these and kind of do that. So we'll remove those for now. Those are pretty nice pieces. You can use them for a lot of different things. Nice leg printing. I've actually seen some people use these legs for Miles, doing Miles Morales customs, which is pretty cool. Back printing, same as, pretty much matches the front. Okay, so now we get to do a comparison, and I get to complain a little bit more because it's the same face. If we turn it around, like so. By the way, these hair pieces are almost identical except for the fact that one has the headdress. Yeah, it's the same face. So not only did Lego give us a poor representation of Scarlet Witch with the Endgame set, but they also kind of skimped out and gave us the same exact face for the minifigure series, which feels like cutting corners to me. Like, they did so well on this series, but why would you cut corners on the face? Like, really, Wanda never smiles like that, ever. And she's rarely, like, smiling like that when she's mad. I think the best Scarlet Witch face we've gotten was from the Hulkbuster Rescue, or whatever it was called, from Age of Ultron. I actually do have that set, but I don't have the Scarlet Witch anymore. So I could not bring her in for comparison. And I don't have the Civil War version, but you can see these faces are the same, and that's kind of disappointing. So for the people that are a fan of Scarlet Witch and really liked the show, then this figure is a must-have. But for me, I don't care quite so much because she's Scarlet Witch, and I'm just not a big fan of her. But that face thing, that's lazy. That's really lazy. We'll just continue with the WandaVision tangent for a moment and go to White Vision, or I think he's got like a different name in the comics, like Phantom or Wraith or something like that, but they have not called him that yet in the MCU. So let's set him aside for a second. His accessory is this computer, which is one of the book pieces, the new book pieces, but it's got a clear screen with the hex and the sword logo and some different stats and warnings, and this really cool printed tile for the keyboard, which looks like something Tony Stark would use. So it doesn't really make much sense to have White Vision with this accessory, but it doesn't really make sense for him to have any accessory. So I understand what they did here, and this is super useful and just really cool all around. So I definitely approve of that. Then we have White Vision himself, and I know a lot of people don't seem to like this figure, but good grief, look at him. Like, the Falcon Captain America was detailed. This guy is almost as detailed, if not more. He's got the gray and the white and the gold. Oh, I like this guy a lot. I don't know about like the on-screen character yet because we haven't seen much of him aside from him being turned into like actual Vision again with the memory transfer. Sorry, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen that. But this minifigure is so good. Arm printing, leg printing. I really like the purple, the faint purple that Lego wove in there. Print on the back is really nice. Print on the back of the head. I keep moving it up out of the camera, thinking that's going to give it a better view. The print on the head itself is a little controversial because he has a orange little thing where the Mind Stone would be. And in the show, it was blue. However, if you look up and find concept art, it is orange. And during the memory transfer, it turns orange along with his eyes as he becomes normal Vision again. So I don't think it's too bad that it's orange. Blue would have been nice, but orange is definitely not a deal breaker. The other oddity is the fact that he gets a one-hole cape. So like there's really nothing to need squishing down here. So a normal cape would have been fine. I'm not really complaining because it works and it kind of gets this nice dynamic flow. But it's just a little weird. But obviously I have to bring in the real Vision, or the first Vision. This is the Civil War version with the correct yellow Mind Stone. And obviously he cannot compare in terms of detail. The white vision blows him away, but I gotta say these guys look fantastic standing side by side, and it's just really cool to be able to have both versions like right here. So this guy, even though I'm not a huge fan of the WandaVision show, this guy is fantastic. Finishing off with the WandaVision stuff, we have Monica Rambeau. She's one of the characters that I'm really not sure what to think about yet, because she hasn't really shown her powers yet, and we haven't really seen much of her doing stuff. So I don't know. This figure is one of those ones I don't have much attachment to at the moment. That could change as she becomes a more prominent character. But just design-wise, she's done pretty well. She's got the sword logo, some nice arm print, no print on the legs, but I don't really think it's necessary. Nice new hairpiece. That's pretty cool. Very large and poofy. A nice face. It's always good to get more darker skinned faces because we don't have that many of them. So I think that's a very good, versatile face. Then her accessory is a little on the lackluster side. It is the helicopter that kind of showed the first hints of color for WandaVision. So there has never been a Monica Rambeau minifigure before, so I cannot really do a comparison. So closest thing I can do is pop Captain Marvel in next to her. So hopefully we'll get to see these two fighting side by side pretty soon. But yeah, not one of the greatest minifigures in the whole series, but she's certainly not at the bottom of the list either. Now, here's someone a little unexpected. This is Gamora with the Blade of Thanos. Well, she actually has the blade and the armor of Thanos. Don't ask how the armor fits her after fitting big, chunky Thanos. But yeah, I was not expecting this to be a figure, and she actually looks surprisingly cool. Like, this looks cooler than Gamora's normal outfit. So here's a Blade of Thanos, looking so much better than the massive butter knife that Thanos usually has. And then here is Gamora herself, dual molded arms with the armor printed on there. The armor obviously is a little bit lighter and more pale than that of the armor printed on the gold, but the print is very intricate. No side leg printing, but that's fine. Back torso printing. New face for Gamora, so she's got a kind of, I guess, confident face, and then a angry face. New hair. Let me go ahead and bring in this is the Guardians 2 version of Gamora. I don't have any other versions, so this one will have to do for now. You can see the difference in the hair. The hair has a lot more highlights, more brighter highlights. The face is instantly different. She's got kind of a smile that shows some teeth. And then this side is very angry, as opposed to this kind of mildly angry face. And I just realized I probably should bring in Thanos just for a quick comparison of the armor. So let me go ahead and go grab him. All right, here is the Mad Titan himself and his daughter, who apparently steals his armor. You can see these similarities right away just in the chest piece. I don't have the arms that for Thanos that have the printed armor on them, so that's a little bit of a bummer for the comparison. But yeah, how the heck did Thanos, like, how does Gamora fit in that armor? Like, she would be swimming in there. I have yet to see that What If episode. It's, I guess, coming out pretty soon, but yeah. Actually, it'll probably be out by the time this review is out, so somebody can just tell me in the comments why the heck the armor shrinks. Like, is this magic armor or what? For another returning Guardians of the Galaxy member, we have Star-Lord. And yes, we can actually remember his name now, because this is not Peter Quill. This is T'Challa as Star-Lord, and I gotta say, that was one of my favorite episodes in all of What If. T'Challa makes an excellent Star-Lord, so much better than Peter Quill, and his jacket looks more epic because it's purple. That's really cool. I'm gonna get my one nitpick out of the way, and that is the fact that we don't have a Wakanda necklace around his neck. That's a bit of a bummer. I guess we're going to assume this happens, like this minifigure was when he had it taken off. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But aside from that, this is a great figure for more reasons than one. First of all, this is our first actual T'Challa face. And it looks very, very cool. He's got that little grin on. The grin is a little more suited to the Star-Lord character rather than Black Panther. And unfortunately, we do not get a second face for some reason. Like, this new hairpiece would cover it up. So that's kind of a bummer. But this new hairpiece is great. I really, really like it. Fits very well. And let me go ahead and pop this back on. This is interesting because it has the kind of curly hair of T'Challa on top instead of Peter Quill's hair. I'm not sure why they didn't print the like ventilator part down here silver, but it's not too big of a deal. Oh yeah, he's got silver blasters and then dual molded legs with the little thruster rocket boot things, which can be used for other Star-Lords. And then we have the OG Star-Lord figure. Purple looks so much better. And look, now you can see the different hairs. Yeah, I gotta say, purple looks way better. Yes, Black Panther himself. There we go. You can see the design kind of is very similar anyway, even though one is Star-Lord and one is Black Panther. And then obviously I could not leave you without showing you what that looks like. It's perfect. It's great. Finally, Lego took you long enough. Here's another character we have never seen before in Lego form, and that is Loki, but Sylvie. But she's actually Loki, but she changed her name to Sylvie because she didn't want to be Loki anymore. So this is one of the main characters for the Loki show. If you've seen the show, you already know that. If you haven't seen the show, then I'm sorry. I just kind of spoiled a lot for you. What did you expect? It's a Marvel Studios series. Anyway, she's honestly one of the more plain figures, mostly because they just gave her all black legs. I really think she probably could have done with some leg print. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Or at least dual molding. Do like black with the gunmetal. Something. She comes armed with a green machete to, I guess, represent her sword, but that's way too green. It looks like she's holding a big leaf. She's going to smack people with a lettuce leaf. You do get two. You get a whole salad when you first open the pack. So, I mean, you can eat well, but not really helpful for fighting. Nice piece, but it's just a leaf. Her face is a bit of an oddity. That side looks pretty good, but that side is really like kind of almost a cutesy looking smile. And Sylvie never looked like that. She needs an angry face, really. She needs an angry face. The hair piece is fantastic, though. It's got the little Loki crown molded in with the broken horn. That's great. That's perfect. Lego nailed that. The face, not so much. Torso looks pretty good. I think it's about as accurate as you can get. Dual molded arms, some nice detail. I'm sure people will find tons of good uses for those arms. And then some nice printer on the back. And the accessory, the big accessory, is Alligator Loki. Oh, good grief. I'm choking on air here. Excuse me. Alligator Loki. Except it's just an alligator. There's no Loki crown. Not really sure what Lego was thinking here. All it would have taken is just a little pinhole on the top of the head and a Loki crown. But instead, they just decided to make it a baby alligator, which baby alligator, great. This is an awesome piece. I really like it. But the only reason why it's Loki is it's got the blue eyes. So that's a little disappointing. It could have been better. But this is a very nice piece to get. And if you're feeling the packages trying to find Sylvie, you will have an easy time because Gator Loki is pretty easy to feel out. I don't even really have an old Loki to compare with, so Sylvie, I'm sorry, but you don't get any comparison. Speaking of Loki, here is the Loki from the Loki show. And I gotta say, this is a fantastic figure. The Loki show was it was something else. I'm not going to talk a bunch of spoilers, but good grief, it was almost more important than Endgame. And this is the look Loki had for pretty much the majority of the show. He's got a little TVA mug. Not really sure when he had a TVA mug, but it is a nice accessory. And I'm not really sure what else they would have given him. He's got the jacket and pants and the tie. And on the back, we have the big variant words, which there's a lot of fun customs you can do with the variant thing. He's got a newly recolored version of Luke Skywalker's hair from The Last Jedi. I think that's pretty much how Loki's hair looks. I think that's about as good as you can get. It's better than all of the other Loki hairs that we've gotten. The face is pretty well done. That is a very Loki expression. That kind of, haha, I'm about to destroy the world kind of look. This side looks a little more like Superman to me. Maybe that's just me, but that looks more like Superman. So that's a little odd, but it's not bad. I think Lego did a very good job with this guy. He doesn't have any arm or leg printing, but he doesn't really need it. It's just too bad we didn't get a Mobius minifigure. Hopefully we'll get one at some point in the future. And then the accessory. Come on, get off. That is, that's a frog, but it's also Thor. It is Throg. And he is done, let me grab the other little guys I've got. He's done kind of in the style of Baby Groot. You can see he's got the same kind of hands, but Throg is much bigger, and Throg has a little Mjolnir on the one side. Unfortunately, he did not color the handle part, so he's got kind of a green handle for Mjolnir. But he's got the Thor armor on the chest, and he's got his little froggy derp face, and then a little printed cape and a little helmet. And there, like I said, I don't have another version of Loki, so Throg is the one that gets the comparison. So there he is next to Baby Groot and Baby Yoda. And out of the three, Baby Yoda is the only one that can turn his head. So, I just realized too, Baby Yoda likes eating frogs, and that's a frog. I think we have a problem. We are nearing the end of the series, and we have a couple more figures from What If. This is the zombie Captain America. And I'm not a huge fan of like zombies and zombie stories. The Marvel Zombies episode created a lot of questions and didn't answer all of them. It was a little weird. There was some cool stuff introduced, but it was weird. The figure here, though, is good grief. Lego did a lot. So starting from the head down, the mask is kind of dirty, which is great for using on like Endgame Captain America when he's battle damaged. It's a little awkward though that his wing has a chomp out of it, like just bite. I'm not even sure how that works. Like just bit the wing and not the helmet or what? I don't know. Somebody decided to take a bite out of Cap's head. Underneath, we have the gross zombie face. Pretty generic zombie face, although I'm not really sure how you can have like a specific zombie face. Captain America is like when he's dead and decaying like this, he probably looks like every other dead and decaying human. Back of the head, little detail, which is nice. Lego didn't have to do that, but they went ahead and did it anyway, which is very, very appreciated. This side, we have the printed arm that's all ripped and the zombie flesh is showing through. Because it's printed on a dark blue, it doesn't quite have the same opacity as the plastic color, which is a little awkward, but it's, again, par for the course with Lego. Ripped leg, like ripped leg of his suit, which looks really good. He's got dirt on his foot, continues around to the front. The side on here is just dirty. It's not fully ripped yet. The torso is, it looks like maybe it's supposed to be the Endgame one, but it's all ripped up, so it's hard to tell. This side is all just bare and dirtied arm, ripped on and dirty on the back. And then the shield. This is a battle damage shield, and it looks great. It's got like scratches across it, almost as if Black Panther made some marks on it. And this is super useful. You can put it on any other cap and it will be very, very useful. So here is the ultimate Captain America here. And you can see if we go ahead and remove their accessories. One is just the zombied version of the other. Well, not quite, actually, because the leg has the red boots. So that's a little bit of a difference, but still pretty close. And then, like I said, you could, if you want to do battle damaged cap, snatch the shield. Oops. Shield and the helmet. I think that's pretty good, even though it has a chomp out of it. I've actually seen some people use the torso as well. The torso does have some zombie flesh sticking out, so I'm not sure. I guess they just assume that maybe that's dirt or something. But overall, while not my favorite figure from this whole series, he is a very well done zombie, and he can fight Cap, and maybe he moans something like, I can do this all day. Probably he can't do this all day. His legs and arms will probably start falling off, but you know, you get the idea. And last but not least, we have Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. And I gotta say, this dude might be my number one. Like I said, I'm having a very hard time picking between Captain America Falcon and this guy right here. I think this guy comes out on top by just a little bit. He's so well done. When I first saw the leaked images of this guy, I thought I was looking at a custom, like a Phoenix Customs figure or something. There's a lot going on. First of all, he gets his web string. And this is a newer version, so the webbing string part itself is actually a little bit finer than some of the previous ones, which is nice. Gets the stand as usual, and he gets a Peter Parker head, which is a very nice looking head. He's got the kind of normal Peter Parker smile on this side, and then this is when he realizes things are going wrong. So that's really cool, and it's a very useful face if you want to make like a sig fig of yourself or, you know, just a civilian. Very useful. Okay, then Spider-Man himself. There's a lot going on. First of all, he has the Cloak of Levitation. A lot of the promo art for the Zombie Hunter Spidey showed him with the Cloak of Levitation, but in the actual episode, he only wore it for like 10 seconds, if that. It played a big part, so I'm glad they included it, but he didn't wear it that much. This is the original version, so it's like the kind of harder cloth cape thing. There is a hard plastic version coming. I think in the new Far From Home sets. No Way Home sets. I'm interested to see how that turns out. I kind of do like this cape piece, so that'll be interesting. Okay, Spider-Man. Look at that. He has a lot going on. First thing, I want to get my nitpick out of the way. It seems like a fairly common issue that this Spider-Man will get the torso print off to one side. You can see here it's kind of off to the right, and it's just kind of frustrating. Like, it was almost perfect, and then you just misfired the machine, Lego. It's not that big of a deal. It just is kind of one of those annoying, frustrating things. One of the things Lego has started doing lately is instead of making the torso blue, they'll make the torso red and print the blue on it. And they actually nailed it this time. Like, the blue is spot on. It matches the plastic blue almost perfectly. There's all these little like tech lines. He's got refills of his web fluid. Goes around to the side. He has his web shooters here. The webs here. The red here is not quite as sharp as it could be. I think it could have been a little better. And Lego has done better before. I'm not sure why it's kind of degraded here. Looks good around the back. This new head, I think we're going to see it on most of the Spider-Man figures in the No Way Home line. So it's not necessarily exclusive, but it is very nice. And there's kind of like this silver on the edges to add some depth to the eyes, which I really like. And of course, we need some comparisons. So Lego has made so many Spider-Man figures over the years. And obviously I can't compare to all of them, but we're going to go ahead and drop in this is the Ultimate Spider-Man figure, the first one that had the dual molded legs. It's like night and day. This guy is very simple, although the simple look for this guy is not bad. He has a very classic, clean, simple look, so that's not bad at all. Here is a more recent version of Spider-Man. I'm not really sure what this design was based off of. It looks slightly like one of the spider armors with the blue in the eyes. And it also looks slightly like the Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker outfit. So I'm not really sure where the inspiration for this guy is, but you can see they're all similar colors. You can see the blue on red for this guy, whereas this guy has the red on blue. Not bad. This guy still outshines them all. And then we are going to bring in one of my most favorite Spider-Man figures of all time. This is the one from Civil War. And this guy has a special place in my collection because he was the first MCU Spider-Man. And when he leaked, I was super excited about it. And I got the set for my birthday. And he has been one of my favorite Spider-Man figures since. Lego did really well with this guy. He actually, I didn't notice it until now, but he actually has a slightly off-centered print for the torso. Goes off to the side a little bit. And he also looks like he's the black and red suit, where he is not. He is dark blue. But we can see here the print on the arms actually done better on the darker blue Spider-Man than on the lighter blue one. And you'd think it'd be the other way around, but it's not. There is some print on the legs for this guy. It's not showing up real well, but it's a lot less than on the new guy. And then there's around the back. So I think this guy definitely is more detailed, but this guy still, like I said, just has a very special place in my collection. And I think they look fantastic side by side. And you could even use the Peter Parker head from the collectible minifigure one on this guy because it works perfectly. Well, there you have it. That is the Marvel Studios collectible minifigure series. We got 2 figures from Falcon and Winter Soldier, 2 from Loki, 3 from WandaVision, and 5 from What If. Honestly, Lego could have done an entire What If series and it would have been amazing. I really do hope that there's a series 2 and that they fill in some more gaps in the show lineup, specifically Mobius for Loki, John Walker, and maybe even Lamar or Carly for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I guess probably Agatha for WandaVision, and then for What If, there's so many that they could do. But for starters, this was a great series. Obviously, there was some iffy bits, but that's just kind of how it is with all toys, collectibles. There's always going to be the iffy bits. But for the most part, Lego did a very good job. They went above and beyond for most of these figures, and I think that it was a very good choice the way they lined this up. Although I'm a little confused as to why WandaVision got 3 characters and the other shows got only 2, but whatever. It's fine. We did need those characters in minifigure form. An interesting thing to note is there was 4 Captain America shields in this series. So your chances of getting a Captain America shield with a figure by just grabbing a random pack is pretty high. Gotta say, my top 3 out of this whole series would be Falcon, Spidey, and Star-Lord T'Challa. Top 5 would be those 3, and then White Vision, and then Bucky. And because of Captain Carter, we can now make the best Captain America minifigure ever made with purest Lego pieces. So that's fantastic. And just the customizing possibility with all of these figures is boundless. So I would definitely recommend tracking down some of these if the distribution has gotten a little bit better. I honestly felt like I was hunting Mega Constructs with the way that these were just sold out everywhere. Walmart was like, oh yeah, they're in stock. And then I would get there and be like, what are you talking about? We don't even know what those are. So it was it was crazy. And turned out that a local toy store that was very close to me had them the whole time, and I went hunting for 7 hours for no reason. So definitely recommend these. You have a great selection to pick from. Tons of just parts, even if you don't really like watch a ton of Marvel. There's just some really great parts, especially like the baby alligator, the computer piece, the parts for the Tesseract, the T'Challa hair, the Falcon hair. It's just a great series overall, and I really can't recommend it enough. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.